Hi, this is Brett, and I wanted to start a new little series on my channel. It's just going to be how to go from beginner to intermediate. So, I mean, a lot of people who use YouTube, it's hard to go from not knowing anything to becoming like a beginner guitar player. But it's also hard, I think, to go from beginner to intermediate. And I consider myself like an advanced intermediate guitar player. Because to really say you're advanced, I mean, you have guitar players like Jimi Hendrix and Jimmy Page, Johnny Marr. I'm not close to those people on their level, like Django Reinhardt. So those are what I consider advanced, but to get to the intermediate level is kind of hard. And basically, it's just starting to see the guitar differently. So I'm going to make a series of videos starting now with some of this information. And the first, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from like a beginner concept and then show kind of how you can think about it once you're more intermediate. And basically the first concept is starting with, let me get this lighting better, starting with a F chord. So most beginners get to F. And I'm going to move a little faster. I'm just going to assume that you're kind of on the end of beginning guitar and going into intermediate. So here's F. And what we're going to do is we're going to play F, C, G, and C. I'm doing down, 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 up, up, down, up. It's a really common chord strumming. So first fret is F, 8th fret is C, 3rd fret G, and 8th fret C. So learning to do that would be a big step forward if all you know is F. One thing that makes guitar a little easier than some instruments is to change chords. You just move the shape. So if you keep the shape the same and you know where the root note is, so in this case, the root note in the bass is on the 6th string. If you know that it's a major shape, and like this is F. And if you can find C, which F, G, A, B, C is 8. If you just move the shape around, then it's still major. Whereas on piano, like moving shapes, they actually transform a little bit each time. So that's one thing that's a little bit easier about guitar. All right, so that would be, we're gonna go F, C, G, C. But what I would consider to be more intermediate guitar is actually one step further than that, which would be to be able to take pieces of these chords and move those around. So what I mean is I'm going to play the same chord progression and then I'm just going to keep changing the notes. And next time. See what I'm doing? And this would actually be a good exercise to practice if you're trying to go from beginner to intermediate. So what I'm doing is I'm taking 3 notes from the bar chord and I'm playing those separate. So like the first time I just took the bottom 3 notes. I'm going down, down, up, up, down, up. But I'm doing picking just to make it one step harder. This is a common picking pattern. And I went up to the next bar chord, but all I'm playing are the bottom 3 notes. So in this case, it's a power chord. Down to G. And the next time I moved up to the next 3 notes, which are right here. That one's a little bit trickier because you're not holding that root note anymore. It'd actually be better to do it like this. I keep wanting to go down 1 fret here. So really this is what the practice is supposed to have you doing, is to be able to start to see the whole shape even though you're not holding it down. That's really the goal of this exercise. So it's not helpful if you hold the bar chord down the whole time. You actually want to change your hand position. So like up here, even though I'm playing here, I still need to spot the 8th fret. And that's why if you play it like this, instead of like being able to even do this, you'll get a little bit more benefit because it will force you to actually look at this to see where this note is while you're playing. Because what you want to be able to do is see the shape. Like just visualize that while you're playing it. The next one went up to here. See, it was in the middle, like this. The last one was the top 3. Then you can actually take it one step further, which is to pick 3 notes from it. So you could go like... So last time I picked this shape. You could even practice it like this. The goal is to be able to see these shapes, or maybe you could go... What else could you do? You could do this. And the goal is to just keep going and just keep changing it as you go. So then what you can do one step further, if that gets easy, is you can change it as you go. Like, let's say I'll do power chord, then I'll go up high. Then I'll go to the 3-note one, and then I'll go low. So I'll go high, middle, low, low, high, middle, and low. And what the effect of this will have is over time, let's say you see me playing around here, I'm going... You're wanting to play up higher on your own guitar, you might be like, oh, well, I know this shape is there. And eventually you're going to know more shapes, so you could maybe start here, your own riff. Like. That seems a little bit contrived, but over time, that's what will start to happen. So what I'm saying is somebody else is playing power chords down low, and because you've practiced this, you're going to be able to see things up above because you're like, oh, I see that's a C chord. And over time, you can do this with, you can do this with other chords. So this will be with a different set of shapes. And you can do this with a bunch of shapes, but I would say the first thing that you can do as a beginner to really jump into that more intermediate level is start with this F bar chord and move it around. So from 1 to 8 to 3 to 8, because those are some of the most common chords, and just be able to do that and then take these little pieces. And one final step I could show is if you're really getting good at that, let's say you are doing it with these 3 notes. What you can start to do is add random notes, like what I'm doing is I'm playing start to also play them separate is a good practice. So instead of holding the shape down, you can go. And the goal again is you start to be able to see the shape while you're not holding it down. I guess one final thing I'll say is one thing I used to do is like I would have a track going, like on, you could record it like a loop, just going in the background. You could actually not even touch your guitar and just think about where the shapes are, and then occasionally you can jump in. So if it's like boom, boom, and I know the next one, do, 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 mm, 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 mm. See what I was doing there? And it's a little bit contrived without a backing track. But that's the first step. So taking your F chord and really expanding on it. And I'm not quite sure exactly what I want to do for this series of videos, but I'm just trying to remember the things that really helped me once I, trying to go from beginner to intermediate is kind of tricky. So this one is one of the first things I remembered, and there's a few others that really jump out. But if anyone has any specific requests, let me know. All right.